Alright, this is part 5 of our lesson on extending the number system. In this video, we will practice adding and subtracting polynomials. Alright, when it's addition and there's no number in front that needs to be distributed, you can really just ignore the parentheses and combine like terms. Okay? So, look at the exponents. I have x to the 4th power. I don't see any other x to the 4th power, so I can just go ahead and write that down. So I've got x to the 4th power. Okay, so we did that. Next, alright, let me try to color key this. Now let's do the 3rd power. So I have 2x to the 3rd power, and then I have 3x to the 3rd power. Alright, so let's add those together. So 2x to the 3rd power plus 3x to the 3rd power is going to be 5x to the 3rd power. Alright, and so the rest of these have nothing to match up with. So I'm just going to bring them all down unchanged. Okay, so the rest of these would just be, there's your negative x squared, and your plus 10x, and your plus 4. So that's it. That would be your answer, number 34. I'm sorry, number 35. Now, you got to be more careful when it's subtraction. Alright, because when you have subtraction, you need to distribute. Alright, there's this negative sign, think of it as a -1. And that -1 needs to be multiplied by everything inside the parentheses. So if I were you, anytime you saw subtraction, I would do that distributive property first and get rid of the parentheses. So this will make negative 3x squared, and negative times negative is a positive, so that'll be positive 5x, and similarly positive 7. Alright, there's no negative in front of the other parentheses, so we can just bring this down outside of the parentheses. 4x squared plus 10x plus 3. After that, combine like terms. So I've got 4x squared and negative 3x squared. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1x squared, alright, or just x squared. Okay, similarly, we've got the x term. So we've got 10x and we've got 5x. 10 plus 5 is 15, so that'll be 15x. Alright, and finally, we've got the 3 and the 7. Alright, 3 plus 7 is 10, so that'll be plus 10. So this will be the answer to number 36. Alright, for number 37, there are no parentheses, so we can go straight into combining like terms. You should start with the highest power. So the highest exponent I see is 3rd power. So so we've got 3rd power here and here. Okay, so 4x to the 3rd power plus 5x to the 3rd power, that's going to be 9x to the 3rd power. Okay, now let's move down to x squared. So I've got negative 3x squared, and I've got negative 10x squared. Alright, didn't that go? Okay, negative 3 and negative 10 makes negative 13. So that's negative 13x squared. Okay, the rest of these are x's. Okay, don't forget that this is like -1. So I have 10 minus 1, that's 9. The 9 plus 7 is 16. So this will make plus 16x. Alright, and that's it. So this will be the answer to number 37. Alright, So when you have a number outside of parentheses, you're definitely going to want to do the distributive property. So 5 times 2 is 10, so I've got 10x squared, and then minus 15. Now when you distribute this 2, you need to go ahead and look at it as a negative 2. Alright, take the sign with it when you distribute. Alright, so that's going to be negative 16 x squared, and negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, so that'll be negative 2x, and negative 2 times negative 7 is a positive 14. Then after that, you can combine your like terms. Okay, so we will have the 10x squared and the minus 16x squared. That's going to make negative 6x squared. Okay, always put the highest power first. Then after that, we have the x term, but it doesn't have anything to combine with. So the x term is going to kind of come in by itself. Alright, so that'll be, there's your negative 2x. And then finally, you've got your negative 15 and your 14. Well, that's negative 1. So this will be the final answer to number 38. Let's keep going and multiply polynomials as well. So when you have a binomial times a binomial, you're going to have to do the distributive property twice. So I'm going to have to distribute this x squared. Now x squared times x squared, remember, let's focus on that. X squared times x squared, you add the exponents, so that is x to the 4th power. So I will have x to the 4th power. Then x squared times 4 is 4x squared. Okay? Then I will distribute the 7. 7 times x squared is 7x squared. 7 times 4 is 28. Now we've got these like terms here in the middle. So in the end we will have x to the 4th power, and then 4 plus 7 is 11, so that'll be 11 x squared, and then plus 28. So that would be the answer to number 39. Number 40 is almost the same thing. We need to double distribute. Okay, 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the 4th power. 2x squared times 10 is 20x squared. 2 times 10 is 20. Alright, now we will distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times 10 is negative 30. Okay, and these are like terms, so I will have 2x to the 4th power. 20 minus 3 is 17, so this will be plus 17x squared, and then the minus 30. So that would be the answer to number 40. Why does it not write sometimes? Alright, for number 41, it's just a monomial, so we will just do the distributive property once. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th power. X squared times 4x is 4, and it'll be x to the 3rd power. Alright, I guess you could think of it as adding the 2 and the invisible 1, but I think of it as, x squared times x. Remember, x squared is x. So I have x times x times x. Of course, that is x to the 3rd power. Anyway, x squared times negative 11 is negative 11 x squared. So that would be your answer to number 41. Okay, and number 42, again we have to do the double distributive property. Alright, so we will take this 2x squared, multiply it by everything. So that's going to give us, so 2x squared times x squared is going to be 2x to the 4th power. 2x squared times 3x is going to give us 6x to the 3rd power. 2x squared times negative 4 is negative 8x squared. Okay, so now I will distribute the negative 1 times everything. Alright, negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. And negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. So then all you need to do is combine your like terms. There's no other 4th power, so I will just have 2x to the 4th power. There's no other 3rd power, so I will have 6x to the 3rd power. But right here, these are like terms. Okay, so negative 8 and negative 1 is negative 9. Okay, negative 9x squared. I'm putting these together. And then the rest of it. So I'll have negative 3x and plus 4. So that would be the answer to number 42. Alright, let's go ahead and use our skills on number 43 to find the area and perimeter of the rectangle. Of course, don't forget, the area of a rectangle is the base times the height, length times width, whichever way you want to look at it. And the perimeter is where you add up all the sides. So it's going to be like base plus height plus height. You're adding up all the sides for the perimeter. Anyway, okay, so I guess we're going to do the perimeter first. Now let's label all the sides though. So if this is x, then this will be x as well. If this is 2x plus 4, then this will also be 2x plus 4. If this is x minus 3 over here, then we will also have x minus 3 over there. So if I'm going to do the perimeter, I'm going to add up all of these things all around the side. Now you don't need to rewrite it, but at least mentally you should be thinking, here I'll start at the top. You should be thinking x plus 2x plus 4. Okay, I'm right there now. Now I'm here. Plus x minus 3. Okay, now I'm here. Plus 2x plus 4. Now I'm here. Plus x. And now I'm here. Plus x minus 3. Okay, we're just adding up all the expressions around the outside. Alright, we're not going to do anything with this one here in the middle. Okay, if we do that, there's a lot of x's here. So remember, this is like 1. These are all 1s. Okay, so let's add them up. I've got 1 plus 2 is 3, plus another one is 4, plus 2 more is 6, plus 1 more is 7, plus 1 more is 8. So I've got 8x. Now the number part, I've got 4, okay, minus 3 is 1, plus 4 is 5, minus 3 is 2. So the perimeter is 8x plus 2. Alright, another way to think about it is to sort of combine things a little bit. If I put these two together, x plus 2x plus 4, do you understand that that would be 3x plus 4? Okay, so that's the entire length of the rectangle. And of course that would be the same thing down here, would be, hold on, 3x plus 4 as well. So that makes it a little bit easier to add if you don't have so many x's. So looking at the x's, 3 and 3, that makes 6, and then plus 2 more makes 8. Alright, so there's your 8x right there. And then looking at the number parts, 4 and 4 make 8, negative 3 and negative 3 make negative 6. So we have 8 and we have negative 6. Alright, 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, and there's your 2. But we definitely want to use these types of expressions when we are finding the area. Okay, because you know that the area is the base times the height, you know, the length times the width. So when you go to find the area, you don't want all those little pieces. So let's just do, you know, area is the base times the height, you know, length times width. So that's going to be 3x plus 4 times x minus 3. And as we just learned, it's all about the double distributive property. So we will do 3x times x and 3x times negative 3. So 3x times x will be 3x squared. 3x times negative 3 would be negative 9x. Alright? And then we will distribute the 4. So 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Then we've got like terms here in the middle. Okay, so we'll put those together. So we will have 3x squared. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. So that'll be negative 5x. And then you've got your minus 12. Okay, so that is the expression for the area. So I'll just recopy 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. Alright, so the big mistake that students will make is just to multiply 3x times x and get 3x squared, and then just multiply 4 times negative 3 and get negative 12. They tend to often leave out the middle term of negative 5x. So be careful not to do that. I think that was the last problem of this lesson. So I hope this has been helpful. I know some of these problems are pretty difficult. So practice, practice, practice. Do them over again if you need to. And make sure that you can do every problem without the video, without copying. Alright, I will see you on the next video, but that's it for this series.